Good morning. Good morning. This is Karen with Kinetic Karma. I'm here to do Tuesday mornings with KC. In case you're confused, so am I. I'm having an identity crisis. My name is Karen, but my nickname is KC. So the reading is Tuesday mornings with KC, and it's a freestyle. I don't know what it is that Spirit wants me to talk about or where they want me to go, but here goes. So if you'd like to take this ride with me, thank you. Please like, subscribe, and share the videos if you are so moved to do so. Okay, so today, let me say a prayer to connect to your guides, my guides. Mother, Father, Spirit, please allow the clearest of clear messages to come through today, that I connect with the people who are tuning in to this station, so that they may gather enlightenment, they may gather a path or support on their path, and strength in their journey to enlightenment, to a greater consciousness and attributes that are beneficial to the whole. May we come together in kindness, in love, and in peace. Thank you. Amen. My prayers are different every time. I haven't never really settled on one prayer like a lot of people do. I don't know why it is, but maybe because it's kinetic, it's moving, and that every situation requires a little something different. I don't know. But they're telling me that we're going to start out with the Shamanic Healing Oracle. And that is by Michelle A. Motavzas, Motvzas. So, Spirit, they want me to do this Tuesday mornings with KC reading in terms of days of the week. So today's Tuesday, so we're going to do Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We're going to do 3 days. I'm going to pull. Tuesday's card is Feminine Energy. Wednesday, the energies that are prevalent, it's going to be Ascension. And Thursday, we're going to do energy related to unlimited possibilities. Wow, that's beautiful. So feminine energy ascending to unlimited possibilities. Well, I don't have a problem with that. I'd like to read out of the book about feminine energy. Darkness, the moon, the tides, the quiet gestation before the chaos, the void. Ooh. These are all aspects of feminine passive waiting, gestating, and nurturing. It is the opposite of the prior card, so very different yet perfect, yet the perfect companion. Perhaps you have yet to find your feminine side. The life you are leading right now has given you opportunities to embrace part of you, but between the two opposing energies, feminine energy is the harder one to embrace. It requires trust and lack of fear. Trust that all is as it should be, and the absence of fear of things not getting done. Perhaps in the past you had been hurt when you were embracing your feminine energy physically or mentally. This was the free will of the person who hurt you. It was not caused by being who you were. Do not let the actions of another dictate who you need to be. Examine your feminine side. Become friends with her again. Alternatively, this card represents an important woman in the seeker's life. So that's for today, which is Tuesday. And as I read this information, what came to me was that, as we are embryos and fetuses in the womb of the void, which is probably one of the highest feminine energies that there is on this planet, that there is trust, and there is a protection, there is safety and nurturing. Yes, it is true that if the mother is going through chaos, that chaos is transferred to the fetus, that the feelings and the emotions of what the mother goes through does go over to the baby, and the baby does feel that, but still yet it is an environment that's really protected, unless of course there's some kind of chemical invasion of the natural habitat, the natural, like the mother is taking drugs or to interfere with how the fetus is developing, that kind of a thing. But basically what they're telling me is that think of it as you're in a womb of water, enclosed, encased, protected, where it's dark, there's unknown, but you're not fearing because it's so soothing, it's so compelling, it's so relaxing. That's what we want to lean into. And when it talked about others hurting us when we were in our feminine energy, well, a lot of times that's done on purpose so that we don't actually grow to know the power of the feminine energy, of the feminine side. We live in a world that's dominated by the masculine. I mean, you hear it in sayings like it's a man's world and so forth and so on. Well, hello, there's a new thing in town, and it's called goddess energy, and she is on the rise, and she will be dominating our experience over the next many years. So it behooves us to become acquainted and knowledgeable and intimate with that goddess energy, because that's what's going to be happening. That is what's happening. And it is powerful. It is life-giving. Even though there's darkness associated with it, there is inwardness associated with it versus extroverted. It's the seed that's under the soil that hasn't quite burst through yet, but the power that it takes for that seed to burst through the soil to get the sunlight that it needs to turn into the plant that it's going to be is phenomenal. It's not without struggle. It's not without strength and the desire to fully expand, the desire to fully live. So themes of you wanting to expand your life, your expression of who you are, your beauty, those kinds of things are what they're telling me that we're dealing with today in terms of the nature of the energy that's going on, and it definitely is related to feminine energy. The next card that I pulled is Ascension. Some of those following a spiritual path have ascension as an unlimited goal, an ultimate goal. However, ascension portrayed in art and literature as a great leap into instant nirvana is actually a giant work of, art and fiction. Rather, ascension is the process of conscious living. We are all spiritual beings. We are all souls in a human body who are living life on this earth in order to learn and to grow at the soul's level. That is being spiritual. Whether you are conscious of it or not, you are walking towards ascension. Each experience, relationship, obstacle, joy, and creation will bring you one step closer on the ladder to where we all end, with a greater awareness of ourselves than we started with. The situation at best is a rung on the ladder of your soul's path towards ascension. The situation you are inquiring about is assisting you on this ladder. Work at the bigger picture. Work at the bigger picture and know you are bigger than any issue or problem you may have. So for tomorrow, there's going to be something that's going to be kind of challenging in your experience, and they're saying just understand that the resistance that is offered in that challenge is so that you can ascend. Everything that we experience here on this planet is so that we can ascend. Some are pleasurable things and some are not so pleasurable. It doesn't matter. We're still moving on. We're still moving up in our experience and our ability to have a history and to look back and say, oh, okay, now I've learned something from the experience that I've gone through. Oh, and sometimes we don't. Sometimes we have to keep repeating the challenge, the experience, the relationship, the type of person that we're involved with in order to get past what it is that we need to get past so that we can move on up the ladder in terms of higher consciousness, higher awareness, greater love, greater self-expression, greater beauty that we're meant to have and be here on this planet now. Okay, and the last card for Thursday is Unlimited Possibilities. And when we are moving up the ladder of consciousness, there are unlimited possibilities. There's a melding of everything into a oneness, ultimately. And with that, we know that there's infinite possibility because we are a drop of that infinity. We are a drop of that ascension, of that wholeness, of that whole consciousness. And with that, we can dip into experiences as we choose when we get to a certain point on the ladder of ascension. It's called manifestation from a conscious point of view versus unconsciously manifesting, or versus having our energy used by vampiric sources, narcissistic people sucking our life force away from us, not giving us an opportunity to use that energy to ascend. Demons, those things are here. They're here to get in our way. They're here to siphon off of our energy because they need our life force in order to survive. And without our life force, they won't survive. So they have to be vigilant. They have to be much more committed to what it is they're committed to. And with that, we have to know that we have to be committed to what we're committed to keeping our energy intact, to using that energy to allow us to move up the ladder, to be able to rule ourselves and our world, because we have that power. So let me just quickly get the book here, Unlimited Possibilities. When fall turns into winter, which is where we are now in the United States, the leaves fall from the trees, birds fly south, plants grow dormant. Some even die, having lived the life they were meant to. Do we ever panic or wallow in the fear that it is? That is it? There will never be another robin singing. There will never be another ripe tomato. No, we do not. Why is that? We know that after the winter, spring will return, followed by the bounty of summer. It is so in your life. At any given time, there are unlimited possibilities for you and yours, many different paths to take, many different options available. Do not get bogged down into thinking in a linear fashion. Open your eyes and your heart and feel the power your free will and choice brings to you. Make your life what it is meant to be. Only you can do that. So those are the 3 cards that are going to be the focus of our reading, the focus of the days of the week. So today, tomorrow, and the next day. And at the base, we have burden. So the base of the reading, the central theme of the reading, is about burdens and how we deal with burdens and what burdens are and why are they in our lives. Well, they're there to help us resist and to fight and to become strong so that we can ascend and be the leaders of our lives, so that we can be dominant and sovereign in our own world, so that we can create our world as we choose. But it takes work, it takes resistance, the burdens, in order to have us move upward to that higher consciousness, to be able to get to a point where we can actually consciously manifest what it is we want in our lives. Heaven on earth, beauty here and now on this new earth, okay? With the goddess energy, might I say. And let me not just say the goddess energy, because it takes a balance of both the male and the female in order to have sustainability, I believe. In order for something to be sustainable, it has to be manifested in a balanced way, with balanced energy, not one over another, not judgment, not tilting the scales lopsidedly. No, that won't be sustainable. You may create something, but it won't be sustainable. So what we're talking about is creating something that is sustainable under pressure, like a diamond. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, I want to use this deck that I haven't used ever before on YouTube. It's called the Original Angel Card and Book Set. And there are a bunch of little cards that come with this little oracle, or this little, they're really like not oracle, but message cards. And I want to put one on each day of the week. So for the feminine energy, which is today, the card that comes out is Awakening. Awakening to the goddess energy, awakening to your feminine side, whether you're a man or a woman, awakening to the power of the goddess. And for Ascension, the next day, I pull a blank page. And that is so appropriate, because when you ascend, you're creating from a blank slate. You have nothing and everything to manifest from. And so a blank slate is perfect for Ascension, which is, that means, so like when you're facing your burdens tomorrow, and you think it's one thing, like whatever the challenge or the struggle is, just know that you have the ability to paint a blank canvas and start over how you want it to be. Even though the 3D is trying to convince you with all their might, with all the energies, the powers that be here in this world, that it's not what you say, but what they say, what they're creating. It's not. It's an illusion. So, and for Thursday, Unlimited Possibilities, I pull Education. With education, and when I say education, I don't mean conventional education, because conventional education is just meant, in my view, to program you to society to be used and to become a slave, to not be independent, to not be sovereign, but so that you can allow your energy to be sucked off of for whoever has the power. Okay? When I talk about education, I'm talking about spiritual education, elevation. Just today and last night, I came across, so I never list this or anything, but I am a certified yoga teacher. And I went through my course, and I did it for purposes of grounding myself, for purposes of maintaining my sanity in a really insane circumstance in my life, in my personal life. So I committed to like 9 months of training as a yoga teacher to balance myself and maintain myself. And I went and I learned a lot of things. We were required to get books, and there are a lot of different concepts, and it was all very concentrated information that we were given. And just last night, I went, because of me watching a YouTube video from, I believe it's, what is it called? I have to get her name. I'll post it in the video below. I have to look it up. Goddess 303, I think it is. She had this video about Tesla, Nikola Tesla, and his concept of 369. And so I listened to that. It was fascinating. And then I went online and I started searching for different things, and I came up with Christianity and stuff about the Gnostics and the missing books that were taken out of the Bible for, I believe, purposes to control you, so that you didn't know your real power, so that it would be hidden from you and others could use you as they like to get energy from you, to get whatever it is that they needed from you without you really knowing what was going on. So at any rate, I went from one thing to another on YouTube, and I found this video about how when Christ was in, the desert for 40 days and 40 nights, what he was doing. And they made the assertion that he was in India on track and practicing not tantric yoga, but kundalini yoga. And the reason he was practicing kundalini yoga was to open up his 7 chakras, which they refer to in the Bible as the 7 seals, so that he could actually access his God consciousness, which blew my mind, because in my yoga teaching class, in my yoga instructions when I was going through it, they didn't quite put it like that. But they described the exact process, the science behind what was occurring when you did certain things. Okay, they did describe the science, but they didn't relate it to the Christ consciousness or to Christ in his life, or none of that. And I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but I was also an ordained minister in metaphysics, and I never really put the two together. So it was like a real light bulb for me. And so to bring it back home, when I talk about education, and when I pull this card, Education for Unlimited Possibilities, that's the kind of education I'm talking about. I'm talking about education of man, know thyself. Know and understand the real science, not the theory, not what they're telling you and teaching you to control you, but the real science behind who and what you are. Okay, and clearly know, who you are. And so you begin to, when you do that, open yourself up to unlimited possibilities. They don't want you to know that. So enough on that. Okay. From here, I want to pull, I'm into my chakra deck now. I want to pull from the chakra deck. There are like 50 cards that I got. I don't know where I got them from. Maybe Amazon, I'm not sure. I want to pull what it is we're working with each of these days. What type of energy, what type of chakra, what poses if they want to offer that spirit. So for the, okay, 1, 2, one more, please. One more for Thursday. We're working with the root. Okay. Okay, so for today, what we're doing is the bow, and that has to do with the navel solar plex chakra. And this is the pose. These are the poses. And as I always say, in doing these poses, if you can't do them, modify them to the point that you can without changing the pose dramatically. And if you can't do that, then for our purposes, imagine it, do a meditation in your mind that you are doing these poses. See yourself going through this, and it will serve the same purposes for my purpose, okay? So you're going to lie on your stomach, chin resting on the floor, legs slightly apart. In figure 1 and 2, you're going to bend both knees, bringing heels towards the buttocks. You're going to reach back and grasp your ankles. Now, you could get a belt that they use in yoga and put that around your feet and grab the belt. If you can't do the ankles, that's a modification. If your knees hurt, you can put a pillow up under your knees. That's a modification. One at a time, if that's easier, or loop a strap around your ankles. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, and then figure 3 is inhale. This is figure 3. You're going to inhale completely. Now, it's not looking like this. It's looking like this, but I'm reading. So for my purposes, I got to read this way. Okay, you're going to inhale completely and exhale and press your pubic bone down by engaging and pulling up the abdominal muscles. Basically, you're going to pull them, imagine pulling the muscles up and tightening. Inhale slowly and raise your head, feet, knees, and thighs. Feel your shoulder blades squeeze together. Gently rock back and forth without pulling or straining, concentrating on your deep, steady breaths. Stay in the pose for 10 to 15 seconds and breathe. If you can only do for, 5 seconds, then that's what you can do. Don't judge it. Just do what you can that is not taking you like crazy out of your comfort zone. You don't want to strain yourself or hurt yourself, so do what you can. On an exhalation, release your hands, slowly lower and straighten your legs and repeat. Roll over into your back, hugging your knees to your chest. Hold until you feel your lower back muscles release or until you feel complete. The mantra for this day today is, I am strong enough to follow through. I am strong enough to follow through. I am strong enough to follow through. Benefits of this pose are massages the abdominal organs, improves digestion, stimulates the thyroid and opens the chest, strengthens the back and arms, tones the thighs and buttocks. Caution, do not do this pose if you have high blood pressure. But you can imagine it. And then for ascension for tomorrow, we're dealing with the root chakra, and major issues of an unbalanced root chakra are feelings of isolation, abandonment, and lack of trust. Fear may take control of our emotional and psychological health. We may feel uncomfortable or not present in the body, a sense of not being heard or noticed, or being totally alone. There may be difficulty manifesting what is needed in life, such as finding a mate, a good job, a home, attracting friends, along with the belief in scarcity, not enough money, not enough clothes, food, happiness, and conviction that material wealth is crucial. Signs of an unbalanced first chakra, which is your root chakra, are emotional or mental issues, fear, anxiety, insecurity, vulnerability, worry, grief, depression, self-centeredness, disconnectedness, numbness, distrust, lower self-esteem, and greed. Physical issues are lower back pain, sciatica, obesity, anorexia, constipation, hemorrhoids, prostate problems, and varicose veins. Common addictions are food, alcohol, and sex. When the root chakra is balanced, the vital connection to life is strong and supported. Our foundation is secure. We feel safe, grounded, alive, and peaceful. A balanced first chakra brings a sense of safety, a feeling of belonging and connection to others, an ability to trust and a sense of acceptance. A sense of fulfillment, of being at home in one's body and on the earth. Beneficial activities that promote and maintain a balanced root chakra are yoga, walking, hiking, running, biking, and gardening. Those are a few. I want to say that on some level, in this physicality in this body, in this world, unless you're fully lit, unless your kundalini has risen and your consciousness is at the highest level of connection in this body, then we're all dealing with root chakra issues at some level. So don't have judgment about whatever those issues are. We're taught to have judgment, but that shame and that fear and that judgment is about holding us back from addressing the issues. It's not about you being unworthy or anything like that. And so that's that. And then Thursday, for Unlimited Possibilities, we're dealing again with the root chakra, which color is red, and there are exercises. These are the exercises. Here, the poses, or asanas, which is what we call them in yoga. And so it's called body drops. Sit on the mat or blanket with knees bent and legs crossed at the ankles. Place your hands on the floor near your hips. Make two fists or place your hands flat on the floor. Inhale and lift up your buttocks. Exhale and release down. Continue this movement for 1 to 3 minutes. I am ready to release old habits that no longer serve me. I'm ready to release old habits that no longer serve me. I am ready to release old habits that no longer serve me. The benefits are strengthens the arms and wrists, energizes the entire body, reinforces our connections to the earth and the physical plane, loosens habitual ways of being that need to be released. And with that, that brings to mind with root chakra healings and nurturing Mother Earth, which is who we want to ground ourselves in to heal our root chakra. So doing things like gardening, like just being in nature, walking in the park, being outside in a pristine environment if possible, going to the beach and soaking, in the salt water or taking a salt water bath. All of those things help to clear and heal the root chakra. So, what's next? I want to pull a couple of cards from Archangel Michael deck by Doreen Virtue. Yeah. And for each of the days. And then I think I'm going to be finished. We'll see. Archangel Michael, please advise the energies that we're dealing with today, tomorrow, and Thursday. Okay, we got 2 for Thursday. So for today, we have energy healing work. The prayer is, thank you for sending healing energy to me and through me for my blessing and for all those around me. Thank you for connecting me to loving and high integrity healers and teachers of energy healing modalities. That's for today. Gratitude. And gratitude is very expansive. Thank you for the air I'm breathing, for me being in a nation where we're, not being bombed, for the water, the clean water that we have. Thank you for the basic things that really are the foundation of our quality of life. For tomorrow, it says, be gentle with yourself. My prayer, Archangel Michael, please guide me in the treating myself with gentle, nurturing love in everything I think, speak, and do. Help me know that I deserve this compassion. I release any feelings of guilt to you so that I may experience lasting inner peace. Yes, if you're feeling and experiencing guilt, just understand that that guilt is put in place as a control mechanism, as far as I'm concerned, to keep you where you are. It doesn't thwart you; it holds you in prison. It keeps you captive to uh, dead works, to things you can't do anything about. Guilt is not effective. So release, do work to release the guilt however you have to. There are exercises, there are things you can look up online to release guilt. As the card before said, there are many different teachers and healing methods that you can go about to deal with your guilt. If that's what you're dealing with, it needs to be let go of. It needs to be, I am ready to release old habits that no longer serve me. And one of those habits could very well be guilt that has been programmed into you. So, okay, so the last day of this thing, I pulled 2 cards. Positive thoughts create positive results, and explore your options. The prayer for positive thoughts create positive results is, divine love and wisdom, I call upon you now. I know that my mind and emotions are eternally and continuously connected to you. I ask my higher self to be aware and conscious of the love and the light that is within every person and situation, which reminds me of, I call it calling forth the Christ in everyone. So when you're dealing with people, no matter how vile or egregious or whatever they seem to be, have an intention of calling forth the light in them, the Christ in them. That will protect you and them. Trust me, I've done it. And explore your options is my prayer. Dear God, thank you for your wisdom and love, helping me see, understand, and assess all my alternative options. Please guide me in the best direction for my health, happiness, and life's purpose. And that's a really wise request from Spirit. And once you make the request, don't make it again. Just thank God for doing it. Like it says, thank you. And know that it's done. Even if it's not in your consciousness, know that it is done. And act as though it is done. And believe as though it is done. And it will be done. So, I want to say that I'm going to close out the reading with the Mystic Mudra deck. It's called Tarot for the Soul, Mystic Mudra Tarot for the Soul. I'm going to close the reading out with, I don't know if it's 1 or 2 cards. Spirit, please give us a closing. 1 card. Okay. The pose for this is plow pose, and the mantra is, through my struggles, I see the world changing and reshaping itself to a form of my choosing. Through my struggles, I see the world changing and reshaping itself to a form of my choosing. Through my struggles, I see the world changing and reshaping itself to a form of my choosing. And this is the pose. And what I'm drawn to in this picture is how the water, the blue, is shaping around him. It's actually coming around and shaping around him. And his feet are touching the water, which metaphysically represent emotions. So he's part in the water, in the emotions, in the yin, and part in the solid, the yang, the earth. And the water even goes from the mountains all the way down. It just is a never-ending thing that runs around barriers. And that's how we can shape our world. We can go around the obstacles, around the barriers, around the hardships to create what it is we want to manifest here and now in this world. And that is the message for the overall message for this reading. I'd like to thank you for clicking on. I ask that you press like, subscribe, and share this information if you feel so moved to do so. I love you all. Have a blessed day. Bye.